it's fine. So basically, I'm just gonna run through what's gonna happen. Contra will be moving in front, and then he will put his hand, as you guys can see, pool 1, pool 2, and then pool 3, where pool 1 is the current champions of each MPL. Pool 2 is the runner-ups, and Pool 3 is for the countries that do not have an MPL, but they have different ways of getting into M2. And why we separate all the pools is because they're not going to be facing against each other. So the champions will not be facing against the champions. The runner-ups will not be facing against the runner-ups. So we can have a lot of variety in the groups.
That's right, and another clause to this is that if they are hailing from the same country, and if they were being placed in the same group, they'll automatically move in towards a different pool instead. So, of course, you got Group A, B, C, as well as D. So, without further ado, I believe that it's time for us to unveil who will be starting things off here. And
which pool do you want to pull off first?
We're going to start with Pool 1, and I definitely hope that all luck is by your side for those teams who are currently watching. And without further ado, let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, so while Contra is pulling in the pool from Pool 1, I'm just going to remind you guys, in the Pool 1, we have Team RIQ from Indonesia, Brand Esports from Philippines, Toda from Malaysia, and Burmese Gold from Myanmar. So right now, you got to... Alright, so it's all yours, man.
Got one in the back. Alright, so I'm going to crack this one open. And our first team for today, Burmese Golds.
Alright. So right now, Burmese Gold is the champion for MPL Myanmar, where they have won all seasons, not all, the last 3 seasons of MPL without any losses. And during MPLI, they performed super well, where they almost made it to the finals. But either way, this is the first team that's going into Group A, Burmese Golds.
That's right, and Burmese Golds, one of the powerhouse that has been able to get such a magnificent result back in M1. They're hoping that this time around it's going to be different, that they will be the ones sitting in the grand final place. But there's still a lot more teams that will be drawn in towards each one of these lots, and Burmese Golds definitely is a name that has been around since the start of Mobile Legends.
If I remember correctly, I think they were even placed in M1, so they were really strong, and so far they haven't made any roster changes, so definitely we can see that Burmese Gold will be very consistent. It's just that we kind of have to see who they're going to go up against, because on the second pool, we do have a very tough team, which is Alter Ego. So while Contra is digging up Pool 2, I'm just going to remind you guys in Pool 2. Alright, never mind, we're going to go Pool 1 first, but I'm going to talk about Pool 2 just a little bit, where we have Team Resurgence, EVOS from Singapore, Alter Ego from Indonesia, and Omega from Philippines. So we will definitely have to see that first. But right now, again, the second team from Pool 1 will be going to Group B.
And inside of Group B, we have...
I can't even see from here. I don't know what's going on.
From the Malaysian side, Toda.
Alright, so Malaysia representative will be going up in Group B. Now we're just wondering who else will be in Group B. Right now there's only 2 more teams in Pool 1, which is Brand Esports as well as RRQ, which is going to be in either Group C or D, which I think many people, as of right now, would want to avoid either Group C or D.
Well, there's nothing that's being rigged here for sure, but now that there's only Brand Esports as well as RRQ, I'm hoping to put RRQ Hoshi into its Group D, so that I could officially call it the Group of Death.
All right, so yeah, so we're gonna proceed forward. Where I think all the teams will be looking at Group C and D, because right now both of those groups look very strong with either Brand or RRQ. And if I don't want to jinx it, but all right, Contra.
All right, it's time to find out then. And it seems to be the champion from the Philippines, Brand Esports.
Looks like Brand Esports will be going up into Group C, the champions of Philippines, where the Philippines, their MPL, they are very accustomed to best of 5s, best of 7s. So definitely Brand Esports, I would say, has the largest amount of stamina in this group right now. And right now, Group C is not looking very easy, but we already know we already know who's gonna be up in Group D.
Exactly, and I really didn't. I didn't really thought that I would be able to pull this off, and I just really want to do it for the sake of, like, you know, hoping to put RQ Hoshi in towards the group of death, but I guess I just got to do the honors right here. So, as you all might have known, RQ Hoshi.
Yeah, RRQ has been looking very strong. However, during MPLI, they lost to Alter Ego 2-0. And right now, RRQ Hoshi, even though they're at the top of the table in their own MPL, but going up to M2, a lot of, I would say, meta changes is going to happen. So we do have to see how does this affect our Indonesian champions. And right now, Contra, I think it's official that Group C and D are looking very, very tough. But we have to look at pool number 2. Over here, we can see again, Alter Ego from Indonesia, Omega Esports from the Philippines, Resurgence as well as EOS SG from Singapore. Whichever group Alter Ego goes in, if Alter Ego goes in Group C, no one wants to be in Group C.
I agree with you with that, because there's no possibility that Alter Ego will be placed inside of Group D.
No.
So this is where things get a little bit iffy for all the teams that are hoping to be meeting with somebody else other than, you know, Alter Ego or even the likes of RRQ.
I'm just saying, whichever group Alter Ego goes, that might be the group of death right now. So I think without further ado, we should look at pool 2, and we're gonna pick up for Group A. So Contra, it's in your hands. Who will be going to Group A?
I just really hope you didn't remind me about that, but here we go. All right, so I guess this is going to be our first lucky team in towards Group A.
All right, and I can't see yet. I can't see, but
and it will be from the home country of Singapore. That will be the host nation for the M2, RSG.
All right, so Team Resurgence from Singapore is going up against Team Burmese Bulls in Group A. Right now, Group A looks fairly safe. Like, it could go either way. Resurgence is very, very strong. They look, I would say, very, very consistent in their performances. So, right now, Group A looks fairly balanced. It looks fairly okay.
Yeah, I definitely would say that these two sides might have actually met back in the other competitions. And in MPLI, there was also a whole lot of all these sort of the matches that were extremely exciting. Do you actually want to see a little bit of reenactment of MPLI?
Oh, I definitely do, because I feel like they recent Alter Ego, they won every single game. They did not lose any games at all, and I think that other teams don't want that kind of domination happening in M2. So I think everyone will be playing their A game during M2. But speaking of which, right now we do have to move forward with the second team that will be going up against Toda in Group B.
All right, with that, it's time for us to roll it once again. Okay, don't hate me for this. All right, so here we go. All right,
I swear, Contra, please.
All right, so in Group B, we will have Omega Esports.
This is still not easy for Group B, because Omega Esports is the runner-up in MPL Philippines, where they played against Brand Esport, even though they lost, but they showed very, very spectacular performances in the Philippines. Even though MPLI, they didn't do too well, they lost 2-0, but the same thing happened to Todak as well. So right now, Group B also looks fairly okay. I'm just happy Alter Ego is not in there.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is going to be really interesting, because there actually could have been only one possibility.
Yes! There's only one.
There's only one possibility that the team that...
Did I just jinx it?
Well, I don't think you did jinx it, but it's just the nature of the draw. But we're still going to be looking at how things are going to go, so...
You know, Contra, you might not know this, right?
Yeah.
But I've been known in the Mobile Legends community where whenever I make a prediction, bad things happen. This is one of those times my prediction might have been correct.
All right, so this is where things get even more interesting.
I saw it a bit, but go ahead.
All right, so for all of you viewers out there, this will be from the home nation of Singapore as well for our M2 World Championship, and there will be EVO Singapore.
Yeah, although, however, I feel like I don't know, I'm not so sure, but I think Alter Ego will have to go to a different group just because they cannot exist in the same group as RQ. So I'm not so sure whether they're going to be swapping places with EVOS SG. We'll just have to see. But right now, as you guys see it, EVOS SG is in Group C.
Well, there's also a possibility, if I'm not mistaken, that it will be pushed towards the next group itself.
So Group A.
It might just be it. So we really got to find out from our production crew on how this one's going to go, as our very final team inside of this pool will be none other than the ones from the Indonesian side, Alter Ego Esports.
You know, you pulled off the Indonesian team last twice.
Well, I know this is just something that is very, very unlikely. And it was supposed to be a group of death, like if both of them were slot inside of Group D. So now that we have Alter Ego Esports will not be placed inside of Group D. They'll be placed in a different group. So we'll find out which group will they be placed at.
Yeah, I would say either A or C. We definitely have to check it out a little bit later. But there you go. All of the second pool has been drawn, where the first pool is RG in Group A, and then Omega from Philippines will be in Group B. And as of right now, EVOS is in Group C and Alter Ego is in Group D. But because we have two Indonesians in the same group, we will definitely turn it around a little bit, right? And the thing is, right now, Contra, if you were in the third pool, as of right now,
So I'm hoping to see things like Yuzong and all that really popping up on the radar in